See, it's time for me to fix issues like this one here. See this stuff here? This kind of stuff, I gotta fix this stuff. Can do way better than that. It's time to finish this and get it done the way it's supposed to be done. And the way I do this stuff is by basically doing this. Take it like that, go to the new window, I open this here, and the only thing I do is I post this to every message concerning directed energy weapon attacks on me. That's all the hell I do. A detailed description of this here. That's all I do. Like as detailed as anything factual can possibly be described about what was taking place. There's just one thing that's missing to this here. And what I will do now, I'm gonna complete this entirely. The whole thing. So everything is going to be in order, just the way it's supposed to be. That's why this video. The only thing that's missing to this here, so that's not going to be any talk about directed energy weapons attacks anymore, is the explanation on directed energy weapons attacks, madness, rage, enforced against me by this murderer here, this one here. Don't mistake others with the same name. This individual here, this guy. This. The only thing I will say to you, the only thing I have left to explain to you about how this stuff all went. It's extremely important. It's extremely important. A good question is whether this guy even have any people come into him anymore. I don't know who reasonable, normal would go to individual like this. This is a category of the war criminals from the Balkans. This is an advisor of Milorad Dodik, Alexander Vučić. The only thing that is missing here is the explanation about what exactly went on inside of the Poland, because when I came to Poland, in the same center, this political asylum center in Grodniki, Ostronia, it's located in Ostronia, and I understand no longer is a political asylum place. Once I left, I understand they converted that into a rental apartment sort of building. Rentals or whatever they did with it. They refurbished the whole place, changed it. The explanation is very brief, short, however crucial for me before I start updating everything I posted in respect to directed energy weapons attacks, poisoning and such. When I came to Grodniki, to Ostronia, I sat at the same table as to where just prior to MK Ultra, into 2018, when I escaped to Poland through Hungary, and I filed for asylum in Slovakia, and then proceeded to Poland after they started to do dirty stuff based on MK Ultra that guaranteed me nothing but dead end street. They wanted to lock me into quarantine for I don't know how many months. Crazy stuff. Same procedure as it applies to people from other non-European third part of the world, basically whoever comes here as an immigrant, refugee, that's what they do. They throw them into a quarantine and lock them there for months before giving them a chance to appear in the real world. When I arrived to Poland, to Grotniki, when they transferred me, police transferred me to Grotniki, and I found myself in a location, this Estonia. Well, let me see if I can get, maybe even get you a little map here that you can. I don't know why, but if I click here on it doesn't work. It won't do anything. You know, I don't know how that stuff is fixed, but we're gonna try to this one, and then I'm gonna enter this. That's the way they fix the, I don't know, is it computer? I don't know what it is, and I don't have a time for this, but this is a Grotniki in Poland, right in the center of the Poland, right next to the Lodz city. Zgierz actually is a little closer to Lodz, small little Zgierz. And this is where I was stationed during, it's a place, it's known Orchidea, yeah, is it? Yeah, it is, there you go. This was a shelter, this was a place where they would place me into, as you know, right? So plain and simple, when I sit inside of the dining room, and I do wanna, is one thing I do wanna say, I do wanna thank ladies over there at Grotniki, because wow, they cooked good. Actually, when it comes to a liver, a chicken liver and that kind of stuff that I don't, that kind of meat that I don't actually, whatever meat they were preparing, it was really delicious, to the degree that I ate actually that stuff, and I don't eat that kind of meat at all. I like clean meat, chicken, fish, but just meat. I don't like anything else other than meat. I also eat all other. I could go for steak as long as it's meat, anything that is meat, beef, whatever it is, but it's gotta be meat. I don't like the grease, I don't like the greasy stuff. And so the ladies did cooked based on good designed nutritionists, which took make sure that for the certain budget they would provide people with semi-decent food, but the problem really was that oftentimes it was not, certain things were not fresh that were delivered and stuff like that. And so the biggest problem in this whole thing, however, was myself, because I used salt, and regardless of how small amount of salt I would use, because days even before my escape to Poland, they went for like a hardcore poisoning with the salt. I had no fucking idea. Not days, but they, since 2013, since 2012, once they threw me into a psychiatric hospital, Slovenian police officers no longer were hiding the appetite to cause me damage on my kidneys, liver, through the salt poisoning, and have even loudly, not gonna say loudly, but with the signs they encouraged in front of me, because everything that was in front of me was recorded. So they did met with these people on the side without my presence, and explain them what the issues are. But during meals and stuff, they would encourage them to even sip me salt inside of the food, extra salt me, for their own liability purposes, due to damage they alone caused. They didn't want to be alone in the picture, they wanted as many people as possible. And Slovenian police, Novo Mesto police officers have literally found impoverished people. There was this guy from a refugee from, it doesn't matter, I don't want to get into it, but they did so even for Slovenian police to video record them, so they would have literally excuse like they were doing something good, that I would humble myself and this and that they were watching over and stuff like this. And the poor guy did it so that because he was taking care and he would disappear from other channels and so on. You know, so Novo Mesto police does have proofs about this stuff. But the point is, when I came over there at Ustronia in 2018 when I appeared, it's something more important that is due to explain. In 1995, when Milan KUČAN started with a poisoning procedure, Janez Ogulin, director also Olaj, claimed to my father already before 1990, earlier, Milan KUČAN was obsessed with this idea since 1988, claimed to my parents, to my father, that salt is not healthy, that it's not healthy. We never had anybody in the family with a problem, with a liver kidney problem. My father did not drink alcohol. I never consumed alcohol in my life. In my life, I probably consumed, if it would be vodka, when it comes to vodka, total of alcohol, probably I could say, and no other alcohol whatsoever, because I don't even drink vodka, and that's why I'm taking, as an example, that's why I'm taking vodka rather than wine or something like that. If it would amount to about maybe 2 liters of vodka, 2 liters of vodka throughout my entire life of 53 years of life. Maybe, let's say 3 liters of vodka, which is not 3 liters, but let's say I drink in my life equivalent to 3 liters of vodka. Nobody drink alcohol. My father and I did not smoke. And my father was as healthy as fish, and I was also healthy as fish. We enjoyed normal life when it comes to food habits. And the thing about it is that it was Milan KUČAN who became obsessed with the idea to prove my father that salt is not healthy, because Milan KUČAN was just simply concerned for my father's well-being. And all of a sudden, in 95, my father did not stop salt in the food, and I did not. We use salt like normal, like people do, eat salt. I was promised in my life already in 1990 that I will not be allowed to eat salt. And so what they did was they started to dare me. In 1988, GOLOBIČ, GOLOB, the entire Milan KUČAN circus with BORUT, PAHOR and so on, the salt is no good, and even that I will not be allowed to have salt in my life. No salt, no cookies, no cake. And then you have this individual coming on the picture. This individual coming on the picture guaranteed me through the use of violence. That's why the violence was everywhere present. It was nothing other than trauma based on violence. Guaranteed me, amongst others. He measured me up to other males with always what was physical attacks on me, insults, and daring, challenging if I think I will be able to retaliate against them physically when I meet them in real time. And if I think I can even dare to think to retaliate for their violence against me. You're talking about maybe 1 million violent, physically violent incidents involving this individual in front of other people, bullying, harassing with the physical violence. And the same thing applied to the food poisoning. Salt poisoning through the salt, for which he guaranteed with a KUČAN to my father that salt is not healthy. My father did not listen to them, I did not listen to them. In 95, however, a delivery of ground meat. I don't know how you say it, cevapcici, whatever, like burger type of meat, was delivered to our home. And I understand also pizza was there. And the thing about it is the two were prepared separately. One was totally uneatable. Even if you are drugged up, the salt makes you feel that it's a fucking acid. It's not even a salt that you eat. Once I immigrated to the United States, Yanis Ogulin, inside of this kitchen at this table here, had a police officer introduce delivered food by Gejo restaurant, which very likely, I don't even know about that stuff because I never ate there. Might have not even existed back then. That's your but who was gonna play all along in MK Ultra violent scenario, participated in our house, observed everything, so we have a paranoia. We have a super paranoia boost literally through the poisoning. I was sitting at this chair here that you see. My father was sitting in this chair. On the other side, we had Director Ogulin. We had police officers inside here. They delivered the food. One, and I was explained, food was for them, and another salted for me, with also a pizza. If I would, in case I would not want to eat ground beef, whoever prepared that pizza in the city. And I was ordered to eat. And father did one time something truly disgusting. When I was just 12 years old, my father told me that I have to eat meat. Father insisted that I have to eat meat, And the type of meat that he ate was the meat that was all disgusting, the most disgusting thing. He ate the most disgusting food in the world. Healthy food, but the most disgusting that you possibly can imagine. I adhere to the clean white meat or clean meat, and my father would go for disgusting nasty food. As to what older people also liked, food that had also visible fat, that was just the most disgusting thing that you possibly can imagine. That this shit would just keep moving, where it would be on a plate. You could see this fat even on the plate, like a jelly, and with what the fuck, cow meat, whatever the fuck that was. I don't know. I can't get out of my head. With all twisted also with like a rubber, like a gummy, like veins from a cow. Well, the most disgusting thing you possibly can imagine. And he ordered me, in order to go fishing with him, to eat the whole plate which he prepared for me. And I went and I ate. I just went and I just swallowed. Till all of a sudden it came out of me and I vomited. And I could not utter but vomit. I was sick. And that's how he stopped forcing me to eat meat. And now, at 1995, we have a future director of police, Yanis Ogulin, demonstrating father, according to his words, on how salt is not healthy, on a practical experiment, on a practical case. Yanis Ogulin claims is going to demonstrate my father why the salt, he should no longer eat salt. My father is in 32. He's 92 years old, and I myself am 52, almost 53. So 92 minus 52, let's just round this, 40 years older is my father than myself. 40 years older than myself. That would be like me being basically, I was 12 years old, so he was like 52 years of age when he did this stuff to me. So my father at 52 ate salt like, sorry, that's a big mistake. That's a really big mistake. He was older than that. That was the incident with the meat. But I have to add, I'm just gonna go 1995 minus 1971, that's 24, and to the 24 the only thing I gotta do is I gotta add 40. So at the time when they started to rape me with assault, my father was 64. He was healthy as oak. He didn't have any kind of problems with assault, and he would never had any problems with assault for as long as he would live. I'm totally certain. I think they poisoned him as well with assault. I think they gave him also a treatment during MK Ultra, because my father eventually, about 5 years later, also ended using much salt in the food. This was the police that poisoned with the salt, but they were using him. They were using him. They had to prove my father that the salt is not healthy. And so there's another thing, it's called a paranoia. You can do this, someone once stuff like this might not even destroy him kidneys, although I think that if you do something like they have done to me, that you do destroy him kidneys. It was nothing other than meat with the salt, so much salt in fact that I looked at my father, who told me, eat, eat. My father was all angry. He was completely boiling in rage. I don't think he was happy about what went on. He was saying to me many times, you will see what will happen, you will see what will happen, and so on and so forth. But he didn't do anything about to stop this stuff. And in front of the police, he had to obviously do whatever he was raped to do. Whichever way he was raped to see it, simple as this. So he did what he ought to do, what he was bound to do, and with a bulge eyes completely, he ordered me to eat meat, salted meat, and which I did. And I looked at him, and it was like, what's the matter? Eat. It was all about, before they started with this stuff, about what kind of meat do you like to eat. And I was not into any kind of cevapcici and stuff like this. It was all about what I think it's better, pizza or ground meat. And this is psychiatrist Kapš. This is what he was doing. Guaranteeing me that I'm never going to eat pizza in my life. That was a psychiatrist Kapš with the Milan KUČAN. Pizza is Italian. So anything that is Italian, anything that was German, anything, was a no. And that actually took even destruction of my kidneys, of my liver, and so on. That's where they got the power, the idea about to create such case of poisoning that a cheese, salt would simply cause me injuries. God forbid that I would go for some kind of food that would have animal fat inside, as I was even instructed, brainwashed to, because it would kill me with the type of problem they have created. I think it's more likely a fatty liver type of stuff, injuries, not only through the fatty liver, but to injuries that salt will produce one whenever it's consumed on such a high level. It's a gland nodes, obviously, and I think those are also affected inside of the intestine channel, colon channel, that kind of stuff. That's the type of stuff that we'll do. And it was all kinds of other issues they used, anywhere from vitamins. They over vitamined me and feed me only with cherries for days, or feed me only with cabbage for days, no other food allowed, till you feel like it's completely everything rotten inside. So the only thing, according to MK Ultra scenario, that would still help my body function under degree of poisoning, which I also realized myself, was for me to eat ongoingly solely a potato. I don't know why, but potato does a magic that obviously they created injuries inside of the internal system, and based on those injuries they maintained me, even have ability to rehabilitate me into a normal status through the use of potato, and as long as the salt poisoning was done in a limited quantities. And we're also talking about the sepsis, we're also talking about the teeth poisoning. I talked about how they break the teeth. If you go here, there is another link I posted, and this link is placed here. But this is not about breaking my teeth. I hope I did. Posted the link next here about the teeth. This should be connected to there's another link that I need to post next to this stuff. It's okay. About the teeth, breaking me teeth, playing with the sepsis, with the infection, with the teeth infection. Basically it's like this. The lesson for me was that I was shocked with what I was given to eat, ordered to eat in front of them, but insulted, degraded as a human being to such degree as evident father was all red and so on, in front of me, acknowledged it's nothing other than salt, that I went ahead and I ate that, maybe even with the tears coming out of my eyes in front of them. This was 1995, in presence of Janis Ogulin inside of this kitchen. My father, police officers, and psychiatrist Kapš observed absolutely everything. They have cameras inside of the house, inside of the kitchen areas, inside of the kitchen area, and would watch, observe everything from the house next door, from the Miroslav Berger residence. That's how police was doing this kind of stuff. And or the room next door, right across this wall here. They were always inside of the living room at the same time whenever they interacted here. I should say, did this till they got wireless technology that gave them ability to do exactly what I stated. Watch from the next door. And next door, that will be Milan KUČAN at Miroslav Berger, that will go make himself comfortable during this kind of violent sessions and watch as a greed will be performed on me, if it was performed or not. That's what they had going on. Not allowed to eat pizza, not allowed to eat anything. Serbs were making good fun out of whipped cream that would be forbidden and so on. They created a whole menu for me of what they refer to as during MK Ultra. You will be allowed and what you will not allowed, and were laughing in my face. No chips, no this, no that, and so on. And this was done in such a violent way, so degrading, that it created in me a personality, modify my personality in a total rebellion, including when it comes to the food, cookies and so on. This stuff was mixed with the issues of stuff that you could actually do if you want to do it, but for which also I was guaranteed in throughout the environment inside of the home where they lodged for 30 years, barricaded inside of this home, of what can be done and what cannot be done. With when it became evident, a lot of stuff I did on my own, for which they guarantee me that it can be done. And based on this kind of rebellion, psychology that was used to add, I'm going to say, toxicity. This is a mind toxic poisoning. It's deadlier than poison. I figure out that salt too, cookies too, whipped cream too, cake too, even for the fuck of it, I will continue to eat, to relax, literally to relax myself during the stuff I do. At the first, I did not even want to believe this kind of stuff. I was in a complete disbelief of what was in front of me evident. Literally at Ostronie, in Grotnik in Poland, at the kitchen table where they just poisoned during MK Ultra, or they always, you would get the sound. Always something to do with the blood pressure problem they created through this salt, through this heavy poisoning salt. And to such a degree that during the poisoning, the only thing they would do is they would maintain me with salt. They would give me salty stuff enough to maintain this sound in me. This sound in me during MK Ultra sessions always was. This sound became permanent since 2018, 2017. 2017, during stay in Belarus, this sound became permanent, and upon my return, it exploded. Once I returned, they poisoned me to oblivion completely. In everything, all this shit was parallel to all this stuff that I stated you started in 95, something I was guaranteed is going to be done in 1988 to me. They possibly already were doing this kind of stuff, but in 1995 I couldn't miss that stuff anymore. Once I immigrated to the US, Slovenian police got an alibi for going to the US, same like in 2012 when they threw me into a psychiatric hospital. They got the alibi to encourage other people into poisoning, simply. You say it wouldn't matter anymore anyways. Parallel to all this stuff, it was a paranoia in respect to directed energy weapons, laser beams, nuclear radiation. You're going to be nuclear radiation demanded from me to do gadgets to create during MK Ultra, gave me assignments. Physician from Donald Trump gave me assignment to create something that you can see if it's radiation because of atoms, whatever. When I have time, I'm going to play with that stuff. They give me all kinds of assignments on, what I should purchase, the shield to protect myself from radiation, through the internet, demonstrated me all kinds of funny gadgets to, not directed energy weapons do exist, don't get me fucking wrong. Connected that with the tumors. There was all British American conspiracy world about directed energy gun, individuals involved in it, such as the one who was at the airport, I don't know, 30 or whatever, 40, 50 fucking years or whatever, and got the tumor and so on. Make me meet with him literally and tutor me how I did not know how to get rid of him, and so they make him a tumor and get him out of the airport, take care of him, and through the fake death certificate or whatever they did, blah, blah, blah. Too much stuff like this that pertain to this brainwash. And so the brainwash in this terrorist cells, in this terrorist Central Intelligence CIA torture cells throughout the Poland, throughout Slovakia and Czech Republic, Slovenia, and all kinds of locations they have. They created, in agreement with the Russians, in agreement with the Serbs, Slovenian side was more than grateful for it. Was so immense, was so enormous. When you introduce in this type of environment, you don't actually even consider that could be fucking salt that is doing it to you. And so I went and I seasoned myself normally with the salt. I was busy with the stuff, with MK Ultra, political asylum claim with laws, Polish laws, how it's going to be submitted, this and that, on time and this and that. All fucking stressed out. Escaped from Slovenia, from the psychiatric death threats. They were coming for me again. To the degree that I don't pay attention to what could possibly even solve my dilemma in respect to directed energy weapons, and have instead of that brought on my picture all kinds of brainwash scenarios in respect to paranoia that psychiatrist Peter Kapš, Novo Mesto police who enforced this genocide procedure against me, with the people that they managed to contract, subcontract, brought on the picture, and the asylum place at Grotnik and Ustronia was packed. Everybody inside of that asylum, every refugee was involved in this case. The refugees who spent life in Poland and other locations, and then assembled them to meet me at this location. And so the only thing that happened was I saw this everything according to MK Ultra conspiracy scenarios they designed for me. This is how immense this stuff was. The pain which I endured during life over there in Poland, I thought it's gonna blow me brain from blood pressure, I think it was, from this salt poisoning. I thought it will simply blow me roof from my head. I'm telling you, I don't even know how the fuck I make it, and I did not know what the fuck went on. I lived normal life. I went, get some food, salt myself a little bit, eat that every time I fucking did. Not every time immediately, but it felt like it's gonna fucking explode. And it was all in this environment where MK Ultra went on, in this Ostronia, in this place where they would deliver me. Throughout, since my childhood, deliver me to this place. I thought it will blow roof out of my head. In this Ustronia place, they were delivering me since I was seventh grade of grammar school. It's 13 years of age. They would deliver me to Ustronia. I remember the ladies, the cooking ladies, the ladies that worked there as a young, beautiful. Nema mi hvala, ne bi.
To je naš kaki.
Ja vem, ampak ne bom, hvala ti.
Ne, tako leži.
Ja,
A
hvala.
čem dati v hladilnik?
Lahko. This rebel attitude with something that because I would not even question if it's food, because I felt I'm healthy, and I felt that in 95, in 2018, for the first time I don't have to worry about anything, and it's time for me to live my life. I was certain that I had enough proofs already about MK Ultra in 2017 for me to nothing worry about anymore. And so I started to get active in between since my return from the US in 2010. I did not even, that's 17 years, I didn't even go out to bother myself with life, with anything. The only thing I was doing, I was recording, filing complaints. That's 7 years of life, excuse me. Is the only thing I wanted is to finish this thing quickly as possible, and they knew it, and they knew my health is going to suffer, and that's exactly the card they continue to pressure and play it on. Unfortunately, talking about the European Union Court for Human Rights, whose officials were involved in it, European Union Parliament, entire Parliament, I wouldn't talk about Washington, D.C., U.S. Congress, White House. I wouldn't even talk. It's disgusting. I would not even touch that issue. It's disgusting. It's disgusting because I trusted you so much. And despite everything, I was on your side, trusted you so much that I would not even talk about those issues. To Europe, I was relatively newly introduced because I immigrated in '95 to the US and did not return until 2006, almost 2007. And, but when it comes to the US and this and that, I'm speechless about it. So this crime was done in such a way, so effectively, so with the paranoia, literally, et Ustronie suggested me. They tortured at Ustronie with such a bestial ways prior to my arrival for no less than several years. Suggested me that I'm going to have the head drilled through to get the fluid out. That is the fluid that is collecting all kinds of insane shit. When your head hurts to the degree that it feels like it's gonna blow your fucking head and stuff like this. Mami, daj pusti isto bom jaz nesel. You know that you're literally drove me all along on a border of my being capable to even survive. In this procedure MK Ultra, physicians were not only involved but always present. Not only police officers, but they also had always physicians around. That's what the Slovenian police also we have to declare about, that they also had physicians present or available 24/7 if anything would go wrong. They had the clinics with open doors. That's why so many clinics around the world inspected me and so on, and physicians and so on. Yeah, this is how this stuff was. And then you have this world of garbage that they just, through the pain, through the suffering, through the firm acts of physical torture, harshest physical torture, far beyond Guantanamo torture, started to enforce paranoia. I'm not an individual interested in any paranoia. I am the wrong type when it comes to paranoia. And I am the only one who will burn Central Intelligence Agency to the ground. Zero ground. I will destroy you. Because when you do the stuff you did to me, on an individual like myself, you need to be annihilated. You need to be destroyed, Mr. Burns. Your visit to Slovenia, from my perspective now, for which you even threatened me that it will be, if I will be, is now deeply appreciated, contrary to what was the early stages. I now thank you for your visit to Slovenia. You fucked yourself so badly with that visit. You wiped the hell in me. You might have thought, and you did, that it's the way to undermine me. You came here to assist Slovenian police during the police procedure I exercised against a novo mesto police. But the thing about it is that you made me a favor now, as you see. I, contrary to what you demanded from me in order to go to the police station and so on, have annihilated entire Novo Mesto police station and am now coming after you. Now I'm ready to come after your media, after your paranoia, to deal with you directly in respect to my case. You destroyed my life. I lost 53 years because of you. Your threats, one ear out, the other one, on one ear in, on the other one out. It just, when I recall, and there is so much plenty to recall, they just wake rage in me, anger, truly what you used in me, a need for retaliation, but now realistic from my point of view. Avenge, justice, avenge, retaliation, payback now is coming for you. For the stuff you have done to me with your colleagues, now it's coming your way. Psychiatrist Peter Kapš poisoned so much with these issues, mind poison, toxically made. King Charles was in the picture guaranteeing me I would not be allowed to eat. They were literally displaying a total disdain for my health concerns, bringing special kind of chocolates. During my stay in Slovenia since 2020, mother would deliver anything they found interesting in Slovenia. Kremšnite, chocolates, anything the psychiatrist Peter Kapš would see that would be Belgian, Kremšnite German, anything like this. All the toxicity that he built upon, what is German, this is Italian, this is that. It wasn't about also only Nike or Adidas or BMW or Mercedes or Alfa Romeo. It was about other issues as well. It was about the food. And when it comes to the food, it was about the food poisoning, firm food poisoning, to the degree I started to see directed energy weapons involved in it. Because of the toxic personality psychiatrist Peter Kapš enforced with the Novo Mesto police officers, police investigators from Novo Mesto police station, through literally the acts of torture poisoning. That's what it is. It's about the personality they created in me, about rebellion personality, toxic rebellion personality that would not bend down, even in front of what would be to every normal human being evident is a fucking poison. Salt, simple salt, and also the food products they identified, because during the poisoning for 30 years inside of this house, they did nothing other than measure the damage on me. Whatever they were doing, they had smartwatches and machines attached to me. They would also take blood samples and so on, to see what kind of damage certain food they would bring me to consume did to me, and designed literally their food menus for themselves, on the other hand, so they could eat as healthy as possible from the stores such as Eurospin, Lidl, Hofer, Mercator, Tush, etc., right here. And also in other countries, I was used as a tester, as a food tester, literally. So just so you know how this stuff is done, how this stuff was done. And I am going to put the link related to the breaking of the teeth, which I so well described also below this video. As a matter of fact, below the link where I indicated you, demonstrated you what happened in 1995 and how it all started to develop into other issues. So it's important is to understand the degree of violence used against an individual, so that he see himself even inside of the directed energy weapons attacks. The theories in respect to directed energy weapons attacks, they had the million, with 1 million people from US, Britain also involved in it, all kinds of shit. Blah, 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 about how this stuff is done and so on and this, and what I have to do, how I have to describe certain shit that had nothing to do with reality. The assistance of psychiatrist Peter Kapš, with whom Novo Mesto police worked together, making a job really, really easy to Vladimir Putin, to Alexander Vučić, to Milosevic people from Serbia, to the Serbs. As I told you, that Slovenia is one big shithole. a disgrace on the map, with people who have seen themselves in a psychiatry rather than in their statehood.